Good afternoon. My name is Chris Lundman. I am joined today by my teammates Delroy, Mia, Rafael, and Lizzie. We're from Samsung, and today we're going to be discussing Samsung's global marketing operations. So our agenda for today is first we're going to talk about our problem statement. Next we'll move into our situational analysis, then our evaluation of alternatives, then our recommendations and our implementations based on those recommendations. Moving into our problem statement, and the question that we want to answer is how can Samsung effectively utilize global marketing to differentiate ourselves as one of the world's most valuable brands by 2005. So we're giving ourselves 2 years. Currently we're number 25 on Businessweek's annual most valuable brands. We're the only Korean brand in the top 100 and the fastest growing of those 100 brands. So this is huge for us because 10 years ago, we were just a third-tier commodity brand, and now we're right on the heels of Sony, which is a level that we absolutely want to be at and then exceed. Moving into the situational analysis and the nature of demand, really the psychology of the consumer, what influences their purchasing decisions, and what are they based on. We've seen the market in the last couple of years transition from analog to digital. Consumers are buying based on a brand's personality. They're less concerned with the technology in the brand and more focused on the experiences that that product can provide. They have shorter attention spans, less focus on long-term planning, and really looking for a device or a solution that simplifies all the information and clutter because there's so many options in the market nowadays. So continuing on with the size of the market and growth potential, domestically we have dominated Korea. For the last 40 years, we've had a widespread presence. You could liken us to GE in the United States. We have over 50% of the market share in South Korea for all product lines. And it's really been the perfect launching point for new products. Based on the mountainous terrain, we were forced to develop wireless technology years ago. So a lot of the Korean homes, actually 70%, already have broadband. So it's a great area which we can move forward with the new digital age. Continuing on with our international markets, in the United States, we've focused on building relationships with channel leaders. So those are your Walmarts, your Targets, your Best Buys, and that's because 60% of electronics purchased in the United States are from these top 10 chains. So we want to make it a huge focus moving forward. In Europe, our brand seems to be stronger in the southern countries such as Spain and Italy, and less so in northern European countries such as Germany, where they tend to buy German products. Moving into our competition, our main competitors are Sony, Nokia, Panasonic, Motorola. This slide touches on some customer perceptions of those brands. The main thing I want to touch on is how we are currently perceived in the market, and that's as a brand that's quiet, aloof, that's not really connected or that customers can relate to, and that's something that we want to completely change moving forward. We want to become a brand that represents and is a part of our customers. And now Mia is going to continue on with the situational analysis.
Thanks, Chris. So continuing with our situation analysis, it's important to note the stage of the product lifecycle that Samsung is currently in, which our team classified as the growth stage. Since the year 1999, we have seen very strong growth in profits from 2.8 billion to 5.9 billion today. It is also in this stage that we begin to see the firm differentiate itself and its products from competitors, which, as we will discuss in this presentation, is Samsung's current goal. To further analyze Samsung's situation, our team conducted a SWOT analysis. We will just be hitting the high points here, beginning with strengths. It is clear that manufacturing is Samsung's core competency. Samsung also makes use of vertical integration, which gives them the advantage of flexibility and control over their entire production process. Rather than focusing on a single category, Samsung has also been able to diversify its product line and offer many categories while maintaining focus on high-quality products that truly converge. On the other hand, the firm's weaknesses include its fragmented brand image and lack of internal marketing education. Globally, the Samsung brand and logo were known very differently country to country, and although internal initiatives corrected this eventually, it became clear that management at Samsung really does not see the true value of marketing. Opportunities that the firm has for improvement are to reallocate their products and markets budgets. In an internal program that analyzed the results of past marketing plans to recommend where marketing money should be spent, it was found that Samsung spent too much in low growth markets such as North America and Russia, and that money would be better spent in markets like Europe and China, which have higher growth potential. Products such as cell phones and vacuums were also getting too much of the budget, while products like camcorders and DVD players were not getting enough. As previously mentioned, the reliance that Samsung has on emerging markets rather than already developed ones can be a threat, considering these markets are unstable, volatile, and less predictable. Last in our situation analysis, our team took a look at the marketing mix for Samsung. The products that make Samsung the brand it is are electronics, everything from big screen TVs to microwave ovens, really showcasing the firm's commitment to product diversification. Prices for the Samsung products are higher than average, coming in at around 17% above industry levels. This is mainly due to the large level of customization that the firm offers and the fact that they only produce mid to high-end cell phones. To promote its products, Samsung makes use of product placements, Olympic sponsorships, and internet-related partnerships. Lastly, Samsung sells its products on a global basis in South Korea, the United States, Europe, Russia, and China, although its brand recognition is strongest in emerging markets. Next, Rafael will be discussing the alternatives considered for our recommendation for this case.
In order to address the issues facing Samsung, we developed two alternatives. Both of these alternatives are two-pronged, and moving into our first alternative, the first part is to enter further into emerging markets. Samsung should focus on increasing its market share in emerging markets such as Brazil, China, and the United States by developing new digital technology. This new digital technology could be part of a larger product development effort on Samsung's part by focusing on younger and cooler products such as cell phones. And in addition, this new product development could influence other markets that have a follow-the-leader relationship with Samsung. Additionally, this allows Samsung to cultivate an image of a more global brand, as well as these specific markets having a more relaxed government regulation, allowing for Samsung to enter into these markets or to increase their market share within these markets to a greater extent. Some of the cons that are faced when trying to enter further into emerging markets such as these is that the difference in economic strength among the individual markets, among the individual countries, is going to pose an additional challenge regarding price parity. The second half of our first alternative deals with marketing a personality, not a product. This plays into increasing Samsung's market share within new emerging markets by focusing marketing efforts on being a more personal brand and finding ways to resonate more deeply with consumers. Developing a unique corporate personality will help separate Samsung from its competitors such as Sony and Motorola, while also creating a personal relationship with the consumer that will help ensure brand loyalty into the future. Some of the cons associated with this particular marketing strategy is that consumers in certain lower growth markets, like the United States, typically prioritize cost over any sort of ideal of brand loyalty. As a high growth market, China also requires 10% more marketing budget than the United States, making an increase in marketing efforts a substantial investment on the part of Samsung. Moving into our second alternative, the first part of this alternative deals with de-emphasizing the North American market. With newer electronic companies reducing Samsung's market share, Samsung is in a unique position to decide whether or not it's worth pursuing a low growth market such as North America, or whether it's better off cutting its losses and moving and devoting its efforts elsewhere. Some of the pros are that all these previously tied up resources can be reallocated towards markets that are more receptive to Samsung. But the con is that reducing efforts in North America would allow for Samsung's competitors to continue and eat away at Samsung's already dwindling market share. De-emphasizing the North American market would possibly make it more difficult for Samsung to re-enter into this market in the future. The second half of our second alternative deals with supplanting local electronic brands in Europe, with Samsung having de-emphasized the North American market and looking to reallocate its efforts to other markets. Samsung should ensure its success by prioritizing the European market and cultivating consumer rapport there. Some of the pros associated with this strategy are that the European market consists of consumers with gradable disposable income who can afford greater luxuries in their purchases. However, European consumers pose or display a lot of brand loyalty to these local electronic brands. However, if Samsung were able to cultivate that loyalty with Samsung, it would help ensure its future success. This has been displayed in southern European countries such as Spain and Italy, which have proven receptive to Samsung's marketing efforts in the past. However, one con associated with moving into the European market is that it's heavily regulated, and that poses a substantial difficulty in gaining a foothold in this market. And now that we've discussed both of these alternatives, we'll go ahead and move into our final recommendations.
We've heard the alternatives. Now let's consider our recommendation. To set ourselves apart as a top-tier global brand by 2005, Samsung should focus on two key areas. Further enter advanced markets like China and emerging markets like Brazil and the United States by developing innovative digital technology. Number two, let's build a brand that is more personal and resonates more deeply with our consumers. In 2001, we consolidated our advertising efforts to a single global agency to deliver a consistent brand message worldwide. After conducting market research, this is what was advised to us. In advanced Samsung markets, where the consumer base is already significant, the focus of our marketing communication should be on moving more consumers from the delights me to the perfect fit relationship category. In emerging markets, we should focus on establishing our brand's leadership credentials through new product development. With respect to our first recommendation, in China, Samsung has moved from the turning point stage to the advanced stage, where Samsung's unaided brand awareness and brand reputation was strong across all categories, where loyalty needed to be reinforced further. In China, an estimated 5 million new customers sign up for cell phone service each month and is now considered to be a strong market. Latin America is considered to be an emerging market. In Latin America, the mobile internet usage is projected to include 47 million people by 2025. In Brazil, 32%, and China, 34% respondents identified with the perfect fit and delight me category. An average of only 16 to 18% of Chinese and Brazilian consumers are still non-committed to our brand. This makes it an ideal market to double down and convert them into the perfect fit and delight me category. Another market we consider ourselves to be emerging in is the United States. In the United States, the overall Samsung brand is still price-based, but cell phones are rated separately and fall into the delights me relationship style. The United States rates low in the follow the leader relationship style with cell phones, lending themselves to be a great country for innovation and testing. Samsung had up to this point used a one size fits for all approach, advertising broadly to the sensible brand buyer. But market research pointed towards increasing demand for personalized, customized devices. This new personalized approach will serve impetus to convert our customers towards the delight me or perfect fit categories. Samsung introduced a color screen cell phone in the United States in 2002 and grew sales by 51%. Now, we are making Jetsons a reality and have developed Wireless AV Home Center, a digital household prototype here in Seoul, and we plan to introduce it to the United States. With new product developments such as these, Samsung will show that it supports innovation and style. Our future focus is to bring the wow back into technology, and it is pivotal to our brand to innovate. With regards to our second in tandem recommendation, that is, building a brand that is more personal and resonates more deeply with consumers. Let's explain why. Research from the FCB found that consumers today are focused on living in demand, in control, and through experiences. Research from our market-driven change initiative revealed that our brand lacks stature and that our brand image lacked emotion and a human face. Compared to our competitors, we were found to be cold and aloof, and so we need to portray ourselves as more of a personal companion and a brand that understands life facilitations while also supporting innovation and style. There are a few limitations with a proposed course of action. For one, the difference in economic strength of each country, the United States, Brazil, and China, will affect the average price consumers can afford for digital technology and therefore could affect the quality of our services. Some subcategories of digital technology are more popular in these markets, such as cell phones in the United States, and these are receiving too much of a marketing budget already. North America as a continent is receiving 10% more marketing budget than is merited. Consumers in certain lower growth markets like the United States still like to prioritize cost over brand loyalty. So adding additional marketing expenses to these less developed markets could be a poor use of funds. So why didn't we choose the other alternative to de-emphasize North America and get more aggressive in Europe? Well, Samsung has determined that the future brand image should be shaped in the light of future consumer trends. The United States has long been an incubation chamber for new trends and products that the rest of the world follows. De-emphasizing North American countries like the United States will risk Samsung becoming the brand of choice for young opinion and vanguard consumers around the world. European markets are exceedingly difficult to convert from non-committal and follow the leader relationship styles to closure relationship categories along with Samsung, due to their fierce loyalty to local brands. Let's now consider our implementation strategy.
Now that we've reviewed the overall recommendation for Samsung's marketing strategy, we'd like to reiterate that digital technology is the future for Samsung and that we must continue to enter into our strongest and most emerging markets with technology that is innovative, personalized, and resonates with consumers. In order to implement this, we'll start in the first quarter of this year, 2003, by furthering our market research in places where our brand is either beloved or is up and coming and has the potential to drive and grow our future technology decisions. While conducting our market research, we'll identify variables that are connected with the digital technologies that we plan to develop over the next 2 years, such as cell phones, LCD TVs, smart home appliances, and DRAM chips. Starting in Q2, we'll start to develop the prototypes of those digital technologies and conduct quality assurance and user acceptance testing with real test subjects in the market to gather their feedback and then reconfigure the prototypes into our first models of those 4 key products. Finally, we'll prepare those products for manufacturing at the end of the year. While we can typically conceptualize and commercialize a product within 5 months, we're going to be giving ourselves a year because we're developing 4 products. And finally, in parallel with the development of these first era of products, our marketing strategy team will be developing and revamping the very successful digital marketing campaign that was run earlier this year. This time, we'll just update the collateral to include all 4 of the products. By the end of March 2004, or about 1 year since the prototypes were developed, we will complete manufacturing and ship all 4 digital products to market, along with publish our new and improved digital marketing campaign. As soon as the first products are in market, we will immediately begin gathering product feedback from our customers to provide to our engineers in order to begin the reiteration phase of our products for the Era 2 models. As we are updating our first wave of digital products, we will once again update our marketing planning collateral to correspond with the new Model 2 products. Finally, at the end of 2004, we will once again begin completing manufacturing for the new Model 2 Era products, ship them to our retailers, and deploy all of the new marketing materials. In order to implement our new marketing strategy, we'll have 2 budgets to pull from. The first is the Global Marketing Organization, or GMO budget, and the second is the Research and Development, or R&D budget. For R&D and product development, we'll use 70% of the $2.45 billion yearly R&D budget, or about $1.72 billion per year, to develop all 4 of the products. The most expensive periods of time will be during the prototype, product, and marketing campaign development and iteration periods, which utilize the most resources, such as our product strategy, engineering, and marketing strategy teams. We'll also use 70% of the $400 million GMO budget, or about $320 million per year, to pay for advertising and brand franchise activities throughout our revamped personal and digital marketing campaign. Hence, why periods where marketing have a presence show the largest budget requirement. And finally, we believe that through our analysis, our recommendation, and through our implementation, our marketing strategy poises us well to become a top 10 global company by the beginning of 2005.